James McKeon, and today I'm going to give you a brief tour of the city of Galway.
Folklore tells us of the Princess Galway, daughter of the King of High Brazil, who fell into the river here and drowned, the area becoming named after her.
Another more accepted theory is that Galway, Galway, means shallow stony river, as at the time the water line would have been a lot lower, or the river would have been a lot shallower and would have spread out over a larger area, creating a network of small islands and fjording points throughout the area, one of which would become O'Brien's Bridge. Galway itself was founded in 1124 as a Gaelic Irish kind of naval station. It was initially known as Cushlan Bun Galway, or the kind of stronghold at the mouth of the River Galway.
According to the Annals of the Four Masters, in 1124, Cushlan Bun Galway, or translated as the stronghold at the mouth of the River Galway, was overseen by the O'Flahertys on the behalf of Turlough O'Connor, then King of Connacht.
Henry II granted the land in the region of Galway, so Connacht essentially, to a man named Walter de Burgh, from Norfolk, who was a prominent lord. His brother, in fact, is signature on the Magna Carta.
His son Richard led a small army of Norman lords into Connacht.
Bun Galway Castle was constructed in 1232 and was captured by the native Irish under Phelim O'Connor in the following year in 1233. This led up to a larger invasion force led by the de Burgh family and a number of Gaelic allies.
A battle took place at the river crossing, which I believe to be somewhere in the vicinity of what is now O'Brien's Bridge, between the de Burgh host and a local army made up of primarily O'Connors and O'Flahertys. Richard won and would become the first Baron of Connacht. Richard's son, Walter de Burgh, the first Earl of Ulster and the second Baron of Connacht, issued a muirage charter to the town, thus allowing it to collect taxes and goods. The money collected from these taxes was used to construct the walls, allowing the town to obtain the status of a seigneurial borough.
So we're just passing the convent here across the road from the church, and just thought I'd point out an interesting feature. A lot of these early modern structures taken after the medieval, they have these buttresses for holding up the buildings, balances out the weight of all the stones. But that creates these kind of little nooks, and in this particular nook you can see there's a bar that's broken off here, but a second one here that's well covered in spikes and whatnot. This feature is actually a deterrent for young couples from taking advantage of a dark corner. So we're just making our way down the greenway here, and behind us here is a salmon. I'm not entirely sure if it's the masonry of this particular structure or not, but at one point in the 14th and 15th century there was a salmon weir located somewhere in this vicinity of here, and if it is this, it survives the present day and has some modern metalwork added to it. We're currently standing within the Spanish Church itself. This building originally would have been known as the head of the wall of Galway. There was an existing structure that extended further out into the water. However, in 1755, the Lisbon earthquake occurred because the tidal wave that knocked off part of the structure on the end, leaving the present structure. This present structure was constructed sometime around 1580, 1581, and originally would have been kind of a storage area. However, later on the wall here at the back was knocked out to produce an area that was called the Long Wall, that would lead out to a lighthouse so that ships would be able to glide in. And at some point, the Spanish Armada actually was
What is now the Spanish Arch at one point was referred to as Cian Bon de Galway. It was constructed in 1580 to 81. It was essentially a structure that jutted out slightly further into what is now Claddagh Basin. The Lisbon earthquake caused a tidal wave that reached as far as Galway and destroyed the Cian Bon de Galway, leaving the remaining part of the structure, which is now referred to as the Spanish Arch. Its initial purpose being access to a long walk, which led out to a little bit of a lighthouse in the main gate.
We're just outside the Hall of the Red Earl. It was constructed in 1333 by Richard O. de Burgh as a meeting place and place for him to hold court and make judgments on things and also collect taxes. So on the 1651 map of the town, the building itself is actually in ruins, and this building itself was the inspiration which got me interested in studying medieval history of Galway, and in particular the 13th century and the goings on in the country at the time. Richard O. de Burgh was actually was the Justiciar of Ireland, so he was a really important figure at the time. So we're just taking a shortcut through the Eyre Square Shopping Centre, and in here is a nice reconstruction of the Demon Tower Wall, the 13th century wall. Behind me is Penrice Tower, which was constructed in 1583, and at one point was the town's prison. We are currently standing in Eyre Square. Behind people, Padraig McCunra, an Irish poet from Galway. Behind that, just beyond the tree line there, you'll notice the Quincentennial Monument, which was erected to mark the 500th anniversary of the founding of the town. Eyre Square itself, in Irish known as An Féise Mhór, or the large green, initially was a space that was kept clear outside the town walls for defensive purposes.
Eyre Square began its life as a public space in 1630 when it was enclosed by wooden rails and flanked by beautiful ash trees and become referred to as the Green or An Féise Mhór. Eyre Square as it is today is named after Edward Eyre, a former soldier in Oliver Cromwell's Parliamentary Army. Upon becoming Mayor of Galway, Edward Eyre donated a green space to the citizens of Galway in 1710.
So again, I've been James McKeon. I've given you a brief tour of Galway City. Thanks very much for watching, and feel free to message myself or any of the team over at the NUIG Archaeology Society